Stop being liked. Unlock the dark power of respect. Machiavelli. They told you that being liked was everything. Smile more, agree more, bend until they approve. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Every time you swallow your words to keep the peace, you're not being kind. You're surrendering power. Think about it. When someone interrupts you and you stay silent, when a friend cancels on you for the third time and you just laugh it off, when someone takes credit for your idea and you let it slide, you are training them to disrespect you, training them to believe your boundaries don't matter. And here's the cruel paradox. The harder you try to be liked, the less people actually respect you. Because desperation has a smell, and people can sense it long before you notice it yourself. Machiavelli wrote it centuries ago. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. He wasn't speaking about cruelty. He was speaking about psychology. Fear, in its pure form, isn't terror. It's consequence. When people know there is a cost to crossing you, they pause. When they know there's no consequence, they never stop. The people who never get walked on, they didn't stumble into strength. They made a decision to stop living for approval, a decision to command respect. Independence is misunderstood. Most think it means coldness, loneliness, isolation. But real independence, it's magnetic. When you move without asking for permission, when your peace doesn't depend on their presence, when you choose solitude over shallow company, people feel it. It unsettles some. It intrigues others. But no one stays indifferent, because the one who walks alone is often the one walking ahead. Those who once overlooked you, they circle back, not because you changed for them, but because you stopped changing for them. That is power. Not in noise, but in silence. Not in force, but in detachment. Here's the irony. The moment you stop needing to be needed, people begin to need you. The moment you stop performing to be liked, suddenly, you are called authentic. But this isn't a trick. It isn't a game of playing hard to get. It's about becoming hard to shake, because your value no longer rests on who stays or who leaves. You have built something unbreakable, self-trust. Your calm unsettles the anxious. Your silence provokes the loud. Your groundedness threatens the unstable. Not because you want to intimidate, but because most people have never met someone who isn't wearing a mask. You don't chase anymore. Not people, not opportunities, not love. What's meant for you will find you, because you become the kind of person worth finding. Your standards are no longer negotiable. Your energy is no longer free. And suddenly, the same people who mocked your silence begin craving your voice, not because it changed, but because they finally started listening. In a world addicted to noise, your quiet becomes rebellion, and rebellion is magnetic. There comes a point where people stop trying to figure you out and start fearing what they don't understand. That's the cost of being self-contained. You no longer explain yourself. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. Your boundaries look like arrogance. Your confidence looks like coldness. Your calm looks like detachment. Let them misunderstand, because you've traded performative likability for real peace. Now, when you walk into a room, you don't take space. You become the space. And everyone feels it, whether they admit it or not. This solitude sharpens you. You start to see the games others play, flattery as manipulation, charm as insecurity. But you're no longer fooled. You've spent too long in silence. You can read energy before words. You can sense intent before action. That's the gift of choosing yourself. Clarity. While others drown in appearances, you see the truth, and that truth becomes your armor. You are no longer just surviving. You are navigating with precision that terrifies those who live in chaos. The more you root yourself in who you are, the more unshakable you become. You don't need to be the loudest in the room, but you are the one everyone notices. Why? Because your stillness speaks. When you do speak, your words land heavy, not because you shout, but because you rarely waste them. You stopped debating with those who don't want understanding. You stopped explaining yourself to ears that only want to argue. And you realized something simple. Not everyone is meant to join you. Some are meant to be left behind. That isn't cruelty. That's clarity. In the end, solitude is not isolation. It is elevation. You become someone who can't be shaken, someone who can't be manipulated with noise or validation. That terrifies people, because they can't control what doesn't need them. You walk with quiet force, eyes sharp, mind clear, heart guarded. Most are still playing to be liked, but you've built a life that doesn't depend on anyone's applause. The terrifying intelligence of those who choose to stand alone is not that they reject connection. It's that they no longer depend on it. And in that freedom, they become untouchable.